All right, so can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Can anybody not hear me? Okay, so I don't know, maybe we'll go back and forth. So I just found out that they've got Diet Ale8s back there.
Yes.
Yeah, I walked back, I kept feeling like some weirdo. I'd walk in there, I'd look around, and I'd walk out until finally I was like, man, I was looking for Diet, and they're like, oh yeah, they're in that cooler. And as you can tell, I'm not from around here, by the way I hold my bottle, right? It's like that, right? Anyways, how's everybody doing? Good. So as you mentioned, my name is Robert Purdy. I'm a trooper with the state police. Show of hands, if you were here last time, raise your hand so I can see. All right, so why weren't y'all, everybody else at the last one? I'm just kidding. Hey, so tonight we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We've got a little bit of time together to talk about social media and some of the pitfalls that are in there. And so let me start out by saying this. Man, I think that social media can be a great tool and a great thing. But unfortunately, if it's used inappropriately and incorrectly, man, it can ruin lives. And so if you don't hear anything else that I say the rest of the night, hear that. So it kind of just set the stage because a lot of times, man, things have changed. Would you agree over the last 10, 15, 20 years? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. If you have a phone with you, pull your cell phone out, okay? I know it's kind of weird. This isn't like normal school, right? I want you to pull your phone out if you brought it in here with you. And then I want you to, let's get everybody, get them out. And then I want you to raise them up high. Okay. All right, so let me see how many cell phones I actually see. I see one cell phone here. Maybe two. Right, the rest of y'all have computers. You have two computers, right? Y'all don't have cell phones. You have a computer. All right, so keep that in mind. This is a cell phone. What you've got is a iPhone or an Android. You've got a computer. Who grew up, show of hands, who grew up with a computer in your house? So if you were 10 and under, whenever your family got your first computer, where are you at? Raise your hand. Oh, so yeah, so just a handful, right? So a lot of times, man, we end up getting into computers, technology later on. And so with that being said, oftentimes as parents, we are treading in waters that we don't know. With our children and the devices that they end up having. And so just to kind of set the stage for some of the things we're going to talk about, I've got a little video. And if you've got a daughter that has a phone, you may all too well know this. Take a look.
Selfie time. Bottom four, Chase Field, D-backs Trailer Rockies 1-0. And while they're, maybe they'll tweet us their fan photo, BB. Now's the time, fans. Get on the Twitter with a hashtag of the whole thing, AZ-Strong-Fan, and you might see your fan photo at a Diamondback TV broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. I mean, look at the one on the right.
Do you have to make faces when you take selfies?
Wait, one more now.
Oh, there you go.
Better angle. Oh, check it. Did that come out okay?
That's the best one of the 300 pictures I've taken of myself today.
Every girl in the picture is locked into her phone.
Oh, boy.
Every single one is dialed in. Welcome to parenting in 2015. They're all just completely transfixed by the technology. David Peralta. Oh, hold on. I'd take a selfie with the hot dog. Selfie with the churro. Selfie just of a selfie.
I can't even get my phone to take pictures.
Took a picture of your thumb last week. That was good.
Here's my first bite of the churro. Here's my second bite of the churro.
You know, the beauty of baseball is you can sit next to your neighbor and have a conversation, or you can just completely ignore them. Peralta knocks it into center. David tonight 2 for 2, a leadoff single here in the fourth, and nobody noticed.
Yeah, right? I don't know what it is. It's 5 minutes of baseball we just got to watch. No, but all too often, like, our lives revolve around our phone. In fact, studies show that we even get a dopamine release whenever we start getting on our social media and we find, hey, somebody liked my picture. Okay, it's the same kind of thing. In fact, they say that a lot of people are even addicted to their phones, and the addiction that ends up showing up in their brain is much like that of someone that has a substance abuse addiction. So just to start painting the picture, man, I don't go anywhere without my phone. I'm gonna go deer hunting this weekend, and I guarantee I will probably have my phone at some point, like scrolling through my feed, taking the pictures of the sunrise, whatever there is. It is always, always there. Now, how about this? Anybody have any children that you have taught how to drive? Raise your hand. All right, so about half the room. Okay, so I'm gonna ask some of you all some questions. Can I ask you a question? Okay, since you have two phones, you're probably gonna be good at this. So, how long ago was this that you taught somebody how to drive?
My oldest daughter's 26, so
10 years ago. Did you just throw them the keys one day and say, "Hey, good luck"?
I did not.
What did you do?
Well, I took her out, modeled for her, then started in a church parking lot where there were no people, when church wasn't in session. Just made sure she knew the rules of the road and those types of things.
Why?
Because I want her to be safe.
Yeah, you want her to be safe and everybody else to be safe. You see, whenever someone starts driving and they grab onto the wheel, man, they feel that, man, I've got the world at my fingertips, right? And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with driving and a lot of bad things that can end up coming as a result of somebody getting behind the wheel. I mean, trust me, I know all too well. I have been there and seen it far, far, far too many times. But here's the question. You see, whenever we get somebody a cell phone or an iPhone, oftentimes it just gets handed over, like handing over the keys to a car without ever having the kind of training that somebody needs. And so it's dangerous because at this very moment, this child, man, the world is at their fingertips. The things that they can do and the things that they can say can take them to places that they don't need to go, that they shouldn't go, and oftentimes can keep them for far too long. And so it's this dangerous, dangerous world whenever it comes to social media and technology. What ends up happening in an internet minute? This is last year, this is what they ended up saying, goes on every single minute. We've got 900,000 logins on Facebook, 16 million text messages sent, 4.1 million videos viewed. Okay, that's every single minute. 452,000 tweets sent. And a few of those are mine. I'm not going to lie. I do a lot of things on Twitter. Tinder, which I'm not. 1.8 million snaps. So a ton of things are going on every single second. And a lot of times these things can have real world and horrible consequences if someone isn't taking control of the decisions they're making. So to set the stage for a lot of the things we're going to talk about, I've got this video because at the end of the day, you can be anybody online, which is a great thing, or it's a dangerous thing. Take a look. Man, it's crazy the world that we end up living in. And unfortunately, that's how it is. I mean, can anybody else relate here besides me? Okay, cool. I'll just raise my only hand, all right? Like last night, I decided, I was like, man, I need to go for a run. And I went for a run. And what did I do before I took my run? Took my picture, and then I was running. I was like, man, it's really pretty sky. And I take a picture of that. Did I get done running? I was like, beautiful run under some gorgeous skies. Sinned. And why? I don't know. Okay? But all of us, a lot of times, man, we revolve around social media. So just to give you a couple statistics. Let's talk about gaming. So whenever we look at internet gaming, maybe it's Xbox, things like that, they say that the average teenage boy spends an average teenage boy spends 6 hours a day gaming. All right, 6 hours. Right? Do you think it's addictive? Yeah, absolutely. And then some of the other things that we end up seeing is even anxiety. Man, is off the charts when we start looking at our teenage population. A lot of times it's because everybody puts what? Their best life on social media. And we end up playing that comparison game. We go, man, mine sucks compared to that. But you never know what somebody else is going through. And it's very, very hard and something we've got to work through. So I'm going to go kind of back and forth on a number of different kind of things. Some of this information that I have in here is information that I give to students because I think that at the end of the day, if we can all understand what does proper internet behavior look like, I can benefit, you can benefit, and our kids can benefit. The other thing that I'm going to tell you, I was at an event recently, and Judge Neal, Irway Neal, was speaking. And he was talking to a group, and here's what he said, and it stuck with me. He said, if you're a parent and you're not snooping, you're a bad parent. And I was like, holy cow, right? I'm going to use that, but I'm going to at least attribute it to him. If you're a parent and you're not snooping, you are a bad parent. I thought, man, that's really strong. But at the end of the day, that is. You see, there's a lot of kind of inappropriate content that we shouldn't necessarily be putting online and that our kids shouldn't be putting online. A lot of times there's a lot of unintended consequences that come as a result of putting things out there. And we don't necessarily know until it's far too late. I think we go back to last year, there was a quarterback that was projected to be in the first round of the NFL draft that the day before he was drafted, it came out and someone pulled out something that he said in high school that had derogatory remarks. And what happened to him before the draft? He tanked. You see, saying one thing, even if nobody else ends up seeing it, somebody may get a hold of it later on. Some of those things, drinking and drug use, hate speech, lewd or offensive gestures, profanity, revealing or suggestive images, or threats. And so whenever I talk to kids, I'm like, listen, if it falls into any one of these categories, don't do it. Because once you put something online, how long is it out there? Forever. Unless you put it on Snapchat and then it's what? It's forever, yeah. Trick question. It doesn't just get deleted. It is out there forever, and it is out there for anybody to see. Anything that I say online, all someone has to do is see it, take a screenshot of it, I delete it, they still have it, and then it gets thrown out as far as Trooper Purdy said this, and this is what he thinks. And it could cost me a lot of issues. It could cost me my job. It could land me in jail. A lot of times, you see, I do a lot of tweeting and social media on behalf of the state police. And so I ask myself these questions. Like before I tweet, I say, do I like what this says about my agency? Do I like what this says about me? Do I like what this says about others? And if any of those answers is no, then I just don't post it. And so if we would just run every single thing that we put through on social media through this little test, man, we can make great decisions. Like, who might I hurt? Do I like what this says about me? How could this impact my future? Could this get me into trouble? Would the adults in my life think that this is appropriate? And if we would just simply stick with that, man, we can make great decisions. And so a lot of these slides, there's some information. So before I forget, before you leave, you're more than welcome to grab one of these Internet Safety Toolkit that has some great resources for parents and guardians. And in there, it's going to talk about NetSmarts. You can go to NetSmarts and get a number of great pieces of information to use and share and to educate yourself. How could this impact my future? So let's talk about unintended consequences really quick. Whenever I say unintended consequences, what's that mean? Didn't mean for it to happen. As you remember, anybody a UK football fan in here? Okay, who jumped? Yeah, now we are. That's what I was going to ask. Like, who jumped on the bandwagon this year? As you remember, there was a UK football game where they played Murray State University. And I got done. I was at the game. I was leaving the game, and I went out to Cooper Drive, and I was going to turn right because that's the way that I always come home. And there was a police officer that had traffic stopped and said, "Hey, you can't go that way." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because a kid was hit by a car, and we're investigating this collision." Right? And so that's the end of the story. And so I use this story whenever I talk to students, and you can use this as well. And so basically what ended up happening is there was a fraternity that was going to have an unregistered tailgate party at the stadium or on campus. And had they not had this story or not had the party, the rest of the story would be null and void. But they had the party. And people started showing up, and they decided they were going to start serving alcohol. They started serving alcohol. Had they not had alcohol at this party, then the rest of the story would be null and void. But they didn't. So they had some minors show up. One of those was an 18-year-old boy that started drinking. The boy got out, got into his car, drove off, and went home. Had he not gotten in his car, had he not drank, had he not started his car, the rest of the story would be null and void. But there's a family that's living the rest of their life without their 4-year-old little boy, right? And a lot of times we make decisions every single day without understanding the long-term consequences of it. Right? And if we can just ask ourselves, how could this impact our future? A lot of times we don't see those direct results. Online information can spread quickly into a lot of people, reach people that you don't want to, and be what? And be permanent. And that's something as you talk to your children, as you talk to your teens, man, that is something to keep in mind, because once they put it out there, it's out there for good.
What's up, guys? I'm Kobe Person. How easy is it for a pedophile to pick up an underage child using social media? Well, today we're going to find that out. I made a fake profile on Facebook posing as a 15-year-old boy. With the parents' permission, I friend requested 3 girls ages 14, 13, and 12 years old. I've been talking to these girls for the last 3 or 4 days, and today we're supposed to meet up. What we found in this video is shocking and something everyone should see. Be sure to watch until the end and use what we've learned in this video to better educate your friends and family. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
This first girl, her name is Michaela. She's 13 years old. We've been talking on Facebook for the last couple of days, and we're supposed to meet up at the park later when her parents leave the house.
I'm just waiting right now to get the text that her parents have left the house. So I just got a text. My parents just left. I can be at the park in 10 minutes. We're gonna go see if she comes in 10 minutes. We're gonna go right now, set up all the cameras, and just be waiting there for her. So she said she's gonna meet me at the park playground. So this is the closest to her house, she said. So right now I'm texting her that I just got here. All right, we'll just wait, see what she says. She said, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, she's coming, yep. Michaela?
Where are you?
From Facebook. You remember?
Michaela! Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Sorry.
He could have been a rapist. He could have been a pedophile. Why would you do this?
Sorry.
Yeah, you know that I could have been anyone. Like you talked to me for the last 4 days. You've been talking to me on Facebook. Do you know that? Like, you shouldn't talk to strangers, especially online. Like, I wasn't even do I look the same as my picture? It could be even worse than that.
You realize how scary this could have been? Man, we have to talk.
This next girl, her name is Juliana. She's 12 years old, and we're supposed to meet up tonight when her father falls asleep.
So right now I'm here with John, who's Juliana's father. We're gonna see if she's actually gonna come to the door or not. She said, this was the last text, LOL, I would have to wait till my dad falls asleep if you want to chill, because I can't have boys over. So she wants to chill tonight, supposedly. What do you think about that?
I don't think she's gonna open the door. Gotta hope she doesn't open that door.
What's your address?
I pray she does not respond to this.
Well, I can't say the address, but she literally just texted the address. Start driving to the address, close by. My dad's going to drop me off. All right, so she just said, I think my dad fell asleep, you can come now. One with the light right here?
Yes.
come outside. Come to the front door.